Hey, Billy, welcome to Crosswalk Talk. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
We are talking to Billy Hallowell, host of a new documentary investigating the supernatural miracles. It's made by CBN, of course. It examines modern miracles that defy scientific explanation, as told by those who experienced and prayed for them. Billy, we need this documentary. I'm really glad that you did this. Billy, obvious question for anybody who does one of these is, why did you get interested, or how did you get interested in this, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, it's so interesting because I've always been captivated by miracle stories. I'm also, even though I'm a Christian, I'm always a little skeptical, right? Because you want to understand, okay, is this a real thing that happened or did it happen by some other means? And as we started to dig into these stories, we found that all of them had these unique fixtures that made it so that when you finished investigating and going through it, and I think viewers will see this, you're kind of left with, oh my goodness, there was no other explanation, right? Some of these people didn't get medical treatment. Others, they didn't have any kind of change until there was extensive prayer over them. So, that's sort of the first part of that. The second part, for me, I mean, the impact that this had on my faith selfishly, and I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to sort of walk away from this project thinking entirely differently and a little more clearly about miracles. And so that was for me my biggest takeaway was, gosh, was my theology off? Was I missing something?
One of the ones I want to talk about, Billy, is Dr. Chauncey, I believe, is it Crandall? Is that his
Yes,
name?
Crandall.
Crandall prays for his patients. And there was an incredible episode, miraculous episode that he experienced in 2006. I believe um, there was someone in his care that actually clinically died and came back to life. Give us a little bit of details about that one.
I laugh about this because this is the one, as we were going in to film these, the story going in, you're prepared. And I'm thinking, okay, this man died. Jeff Markin died for 40 minutes, right? Is this true? I mean, is it possible that this man really died for 40 minutes? And of course, you think back to the Bible and scripture, and you see Lazarus dead for a lot longer than 40 minutes. You see other people who are brought back, from the dead. So it's something we know historically and biblically has happened. But yet, going into this story, Dr. Crandall was the emergency room doctor when Jeff Markin had a heart attack. And this heart attack killed him. And so, but for 40 minutes, the hospital staff, they're working on Jeff Markin, trying to save him while Dr. Crandall is there. And they're doing everything they can to no avail. They pronounce Jeff Markin dead. And Dr. Crandall leaves the room and starts going on his way. But as this doctor is leaving the room to walk away, he suddenly feels a prompting from God. That's how he described it, to go back and pray for Jeff Markin. Now, again, they're bringing this guy to the morgue. Like, he's about to go to the morgue. He's been pronounced dead. And so he ignores that prompting. And then he feels God say to him, go back and pray for that man. And so he turns back, he goes into the room, and you can imagine the nurses have got to be thinking, what in the world is wrong with this man? Goes into the room and he starts praying over Jeff Markin's body. And what's so interesting is he tells the doctor and the nurse in the room, shock him one more time. And again, they're like, we can't do that. He's going to be, first of all, he'll be brain dead. If we get a heartbeat back, which we already tried for 40 minutes and couldn't, he'll be dead. They shock him. He immediately gets a perfect heart rate back. Okay, so immediate heart rate comes back. And not only that, 2 days later, Jeff Markin wakes up. He has a near-death experience, which I won't get into now, but we cover in the film. Wakes up completely fine. We interviewed him in this documentary. And so that's one example of a shocking case with a number of miracles, right? The
Yeah.
doctor feeling prompted, then the survival itself.
One of the things I really like about the documentary, Billy, is the fact that some of these people prayed for years and years. It's not something that seems like a get healed quick scheme. Uh, Tell us about one of those. I know one of them concerns, I believe it was a, a, um, a first responder, I believe. And he had a miracle in his life, but it was something that was prayed for years and years. And then I think they went to um, a church service or something. I'm probably getting some details wrong.
No, no,
Catch
you
us,
got it
catch,
right. Yeah, they did. They went,
catch us
yep,
up on
yep.
that one. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Brian LaPoo. His story is remarkable. He was a police officer and he had a freak accident. He fell on the ice, broke his neck. I mean, this could happen to anybody. And he ended up paralyzed on one half of his body. And this just horrific situation, a completely healthy guy paralyzed. Now he's unhealthy, in a wheelchair. He had to wear a brace. He finally was able to get this brace that would allow him to walk, but he was in excruciating pain for 10 years. After one of his surgeries, he had a migraine that didn't go away for like 3 years straight. I mean, imagine having a headache that just never went away. So he was in immense suffering. But during this 10-year period where he's lost so much, he's lost his job, he's lost his purpose, his wife is struggling, he's got a baby that he can't fully take care of the way he wants to. They went from prayer meeting to prayer meeting, from healing meeting to healing meeting. And this is where this kind of conversation gets complicated, because here are these people following God, trying to get healing, and they're not getting it. And he got to the point where he told his wife, I do not want to go to any more healing meetings. I have zero interest in doing this. I don't want anybody praying over me or touching me. I'm done. And his wife said, can we just go to one more meeting? And she said, it could be my birthday gift, and he laughs when he tells the story. But they end up, he says, fine. So they go to this prayer meeting, and it's incredibly shocking what happens at this meeting. He ends up healed. And he ends up, for the first time in 10 years, his hand opens up. He had a clenched hand because of his condition, and he walks out without that brace on for the first time during that prayer meeting. So, and he's still healthy today. That's another example of the kind of case. And of course, we go through reenactments, we go through extensive interviews with all the people involved in this. That really is a shocking case.
Did you make the documentary with skeptics in mind, Billy?
I love that question. We made the documentary with three different groups of people in mind. And the first would be skeptics. And I think skeptics fall into two categories. You have atheists and secularists and people who maybe aren't sure what they believe, but they don't believe miracles happen. You then have Christians who are very divided. You have Christians who, some believe miracles don't happen anymore at all. Like, this is not something that would still happen today. We thought about that group. And then the Christians who believe in miracles, who I think these sorts of stories provide a backdrop for the faith. They sort of come alongside what you believe and think, and they inspire you to believe deeper. So we really thought about all three of those groups. And I'll tell you this, what's been so interesting is that the different theological camps, right? Calvinists, non-Calvinists, all of these people that I've interacted with have actually liked the storylines in the documentary, which is a rare thing. And I think the director deserves a lot of credit for that, because we wanted this to not be something that created more debate. We wanted it to open up a conversation about what might actually be happening in these cases.
I know this is available on several platforms related to CBN. Tell us where people can watch it.
Yeah, it's on the CBN Family app, but the best way, if you want to go and watch it right now, you can go to cbn.com/supernatural. And, a lot of people still want to get DVDs. They can get a DVD if they want, but we are streaming it there on that family app. And that link, cbn.com/supernatural, will take you there where you can actually get the streaming codes.
Final word from you, Billy. What do you want people to know about it?
Yeah, I want people to know that no matter where you stand on miracles and the lack thereof, right? Because even Lazarus died again, right? And so this is a complicated topic, and we do not shy away from the complications of it. But I want people to leave this inspired and asking questions and saying to themselves, is there something more that I might be missing when it comes to my theology and my faith on miracles? And so, of course, lining up with scripture perfectly, we did that throughout this film. But I think just challenging ourselves to think a little deeper on this.